Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is a different topic. I'm going to do my Wednesday check-in politically with you all tomorrow. I'm taping this early Tuesday morning. Wanted to talk to you all about a workshop that I have coming up with Susan Lynn, psychic medium. Many of you know. We have done a number of workshops together and really have built a wonderful community and following, worked with thousands of people. Our workshops usually sell out, in fact. So very, very excited to do this next one that we've got coming up on Saturday, September 27th. I'll give you the link and all the details in a moment. But the title in and of itself, I hope really kind of pings you. It is Embodying the Phoenix, Rebirth After Loss or Change. All right? Embodying the Phoenix, Rebirth After Loss or Change. One reason that I always get geeked about doing our workshops. I love to teach. It's one of the things that I think is pretty high up on my gifts, and I'm very honored to do it. But here's the deal. I have always said to clients, Susan knows this, we agree on this, that you can't teach what you don't know, right? Or at least teach it really well, teach it, and really have an impact on people. And when it comes to the phoenix, right? The mythological creature that sets itself on fire. Let's talk about that, in a moment. Right, has comes up from that fire that sets its own pyre, and then is rebirthed from its own ashes. Man, y'all, when I tell you, I think that is something, no matter who you are, no matter what part of the world you live in, no matter what your current situation, all of us are being impacted by that energy or called to that energy in some form or fashion, right? Thinking about how many people right now are undergoing tremendous loss and change as a result of, say, for instance, losing their jobs, federal workers, educational workers, people who have attorneys, people in the legal professions, etc. Also, in just what we normally accept as a part of life, people who are actually dealing with the loss of loved ones. I was really reminded, Spirit really reminded me of sort of this pattern of consistent change and rebirth that we've been going through at least since COVID, the pandemic, if not before, right? Where we have had to learn to see our lives in a different way, live our lives in a different way, have our consciousness changed as a result of circumstances that are happening around us globally, within our families, within our communities, and even on a personal, even more personal level, you all. You think about how many of us have had to regroup, change after a breakup, a divorce, sometimes voluntarily. Talk about, setting yourself up for that phoenix change and saying, this is what I'm going to do, and regenerate. A career change. Many of you know I recently, after many, many years, over a couple of decades, earlier this year, right before the summer, I retired and decided to do this work full time. Was it scary? Is it still scary on some levels? Yeah, when you're accustomed, I'm in my mid 60s, so when you're accustomed to earning your income and having stability in a certain way, and then you decide to do this, what I'm doing, entrepreneurial. Yeah, but hey, I'm loving every minute of it. And so for many of you, when you see my spirit show up here on the channel, it is because despite any other doubts that sometimes I may have. I'm human just like everybody else, but it's like that phoenix desire to say, you know what? I choose to do this. And that is a lot of what we're going to be teaching in the workshop, you all, is thinking about changing that narrative from things being taken from us, right? Life, whether it's something we've decided to make a change for ourselves, whether it's, certainly politically, where we see so many of our freedoms and our way of life being threatened and feels like it's being snatched away from us. What do we do in response to that, right? Because we're not going to stop living. We're not going to stop being. We are here on this earth for a purpose. Our souls are like, oh no, you will not give up. right? You will not give up. So this workshop is going to be a wonderful opportunity for Susan and I to talk to you all and teach you some methods that we personally know around what we do and that process of rebirth, regeneration, feeling like we are more empowered and being able to embrace change rather than focusing on, looking backwards and focusing on the pain from loss or the uncertainty and the anxiety around change. Switching that narrative up and beginning to say, but I am able to rewrite the narrative of my life. We talk about being co-creators with the divine source, God, Goddess, however you relate. We talk about that. But it's one thing to talk about things in theory, and it's another thing to really adapt lifestyle habits and going at it so that you are proactively deciding I will be rebirthed from this situation. I am in the driver's seat. I will show up for this moment in time, this moment in my life, and decide what I'm going to do about it. So I'd love to have you all there. Only $33 for a 2-hour workshop with me and Susan Lynn, right? It will be recorded for those of you maybe who might not be able to attend the live Zoom call. It'll be recorded, so you'll get it, no matter what. But I hope you can make it live. And again, all the details to sign up for it, I'll link that in the description box below. Or you can visit Susan Lynn's website and look under upcoming events, SusanLynnMedium.com, right? And again, I'll put that in the description box. But would love to have you here because this one, you all, I'll share with you very briefly. Spirit's on my back now that I'm retired to get this memoir of a priestess, The Path of the Priestess, written. Is coming. That's my goal 2026. I just said it out loud, right? Talk about manifestation. But for many of you, you hear me, when I introduce myself as a priestess, initiated priestess. There was a long path to get to that. And I'm still living it. I'm still undergoing. We all do forms of initiation, meaning being in one state of being, consciousness, etc. And then voluntarily, like the phoenix, showing up to say, but I choose to shift my life, to shift my habits, to shift my beliefs, to stand on certain principles that I am willing to live by. That is really what initiation is. And I'm going to do a workshop on that in 2026 as well. But this in my life, you all, I was, short version, I've been on my own since I was 17 years old. I came up in a really rough background and I was orphaned at 16. My mother was an alcoholic. And I literally had nowhere to go. I was adopted and was not accepted by her family. So I had to literally, at 17 years old, once I graduated high school, figure out how I was going to live, who I was. That is, and that sort of set the tone for how I ultimately changed my name, determined for myself who I was going to be, how I was going to work in the world, how discovering what my own soul path is and standing by that, no matter what anybody else thought or, any resistance to that. So when I tell you I live this, the fire, that fire purifies, that fire, we think about it as, burning away and destroying and the destruction of fire. We certainly see that and are aware of that and sympathetic to that when it occurs in, natural disasters. But from a spiritual perspective, approaching fire. In tarot, which many of you know me, clearly that's what I do. That's my jam, right? But wands arguably is the most spiritually driven suit in the tarot. Why? Because it is so closely connected to the divine, to spirit. It clears the path and clears the way for earth to be reborn, for air, for words to be spoken, for water, emotions to be reconfigured so that we begin to think about not only what has happened, but what we want to do as a result of what has happened. The fire of resistance when we think, politics, when we think politically, fight the power, getting our getting our collective energy to stay high so that we can resist, so that we can remain resilient. We're going to talk about lifestyle habits to help you become more resilient and really claim that, so that instead of falling into what can easily feel like victim consciousness for all the right reasons, like we're not imagining the changes that happen in our lives, right? We can't beat ourselves up for sometimes getting down, but at the end of the day, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Let's talk about that. I would love to have you in that workshop. So again, check out the link and please do sign up. $33. It'll be some of the best money you've spent. And I will talk to you real soon. Check back with me tomorrow for my usual political read. We'll see what happens. And take really good care of yourselves out there, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Bye.